I went down on my younger stepsister during quarantine, and I don't regret it. My name's Bryn, and this whole mess started during the quarantine. Like everyone else, I was stuck at home, bored out of my mind. My dad had remarried a couple of years ago to a lovely woman named Alary, who had a daughter, Fionn. Fionn was 19 at the time, about 2 years younger than me. We weren't exactly close, but we weren't distant either. We just kind of coexisted under the same roof. But when the lockdown hit, everything changed. Suddenly, we were all forced to spend way more time together. I remember the first night it all started. We were sitting in the living room, flipping through Netflix for the millionth time. My dad and Alary had gone to bed early, and it was just me and Fionn. She suggested we watch some trashy reality show, and we ended up laughing our asses off. It was the first time I really noticed how pretty she was. I mean, she was always cute, but that night she seemed different. We started talking more after that, late-night chats about life, our dreams, and all the bullshit we were dealing with. It felt good to have someone to talk to, someone who got it. We were stuck in the same situation, and it brought us closer. It was a few weeks into the lockdown when things took a turn. We were playing video games in my room, and I don't know how it happened, but we ended up sitting really close. Our shoulders touched, and there was this electric tension between us. I glanced over at her, and she was already looking at me. "Do you ever think about what it'd be like to kiss me?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. My heart was pounding in my chest. I knew this was wrong, but I couldn't help myself. "Yeah," I admitted, my voice just as quiet. Before I knew it, we were kissing. It was soft at first, but then it got more intense. We pulled away, breathless and confused. "That was unexpected," she said, her cheeks flushed. "Yeah, but it felt good," I replied, my mind racing. From that night on, things were different between us. We started sneaking around, kissing whenever we had the chance. It was thrilling, and the secrecy made it even more exciting. But I knew we were playing with fire. One night, things escalated. My dad and Alary had gone to bed early again, and Fionn and I were left alone. We were sitting on the couch, watching another dumb show, but neither of us was really paying attention. "I can't stop thinking about you," she whispered, her hand resting on my thigh. I turned to look at her, my heart racing. "Me too," I admitted. She leaned in and kissed me, and this time there was no holding back. We ended up in my room, our hands all over each other. Before I knew it, we were lying on my bed, our clothes in a heap on the floor. "Are you sure about this?" I asked, my voice trembling. "Yes," she replied, her eyes locked on mine. "I want this. I want you." We went further than we ever had before. It was intense, passionate, and everything I had imagined it would be. When it was over, we lay there, wrapped in each other's arms, knowing there was no going back. The next morning, reality hit us hard. We had crossed a line, and there was no undoing it. We tried to act normal around my dad and Alary, but the guilt was eating me alive. I couldn't look them in the eyes without feeling like a total piece of shit. But as messed up as it sounds, I didn't regret what happened. Fionn and I had this connection that I couldn't ignore. We kept sneaking around, but it was getting harder to hide. The more time we spent together, the deeper my feelings for her grew. One night, after everyone had gone to bed, we were lying in my room, talking. "What are we going to do?" she asked, her voice full of worry. "I don't know," I admitted, "but I don't want to stop seeing you." "Me neither," she said, her eyes full of emotion. "But we can't keep hiding forever." We both knew she was right, but the thought of losing her was unbearable. We were in too deep, and there was no easy way out. Eventually, our secret came out. My dad walked in on us one night, and all hell broke loose. He was furious, and I had never seen him so angry. He demanded to know what was going on, and we had no choice but to tell him the truth. Alary was devastated, and the house was filled with tension. They tried to separate us, but it was too late. The damage was done. In the end, my dad and Alary couldn't handle it. They decided to split up, and Fionn and I were left to deal with the fallout. We moved out together, trying to start fresh, but it wasn't easy. The guilt and shame, hung over us, and we struggled to find our footing. But through it all, we stuck together. We knew what we had was real, and we weren't willing to let it go. It took time, but eventually we found a way to make it work. Now, looking back, I know what we did was wrong, but I can't bring myself to regret it. Ephion is my everything, and I wouldn't trade what we have for anything. So yeah, that's my fucked up story. Judge me all you want, but I don't regret a damn thing.